There's power in words, there's power in sharing your content, sharing your ideas with others, and it will help you move forward.
You have tuned into and are viewing the District 96 Toastmasters YouTube channel. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel.
Hello fellow Toastmasters and District 96. This is a special video and a special workshop. This workshop shares a message that is as relevant today as it was the day it was delivered. A message worth repeating. On April 5th, 2020, several weeks into the COVID-19 pandemic, Toastmasters District 96 had in the previous 3 weeks canceled the annual conference that was scheduled for later on that month and rescheduled all of the educational activities that we had planned for the conference. This is the first online workshop that was presented as a part of the 2020 District 96 conference. We present to you a message of resilience, imagination, self-belief, and endurance. Rise and shoot for the moon. Presented by Toastmasters District 96 and Anita Adams.
Please join me in virtually clapping and welcoming Anita Adams.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. I want to start actually with thanking Nayla, Scott, and Carol, the whole team that has selected me as one of your education session providers for Toastmasters District 96 for doing this, and to your team for pivoting so quickly to bring this all online for us. I think that is super cool and I'm so impressed. So thank you for that. I want to thank all of you for being here. Truly appreciate it, especially this beautiful, gorgeous day that we have, and that the fact that you've chosen to spend your time here with me today is truly appreciated. I want to let you know what you can expect. We have 45 minutes to an hour is what we are given here. You don't have to stay the whole time. I hope you will, but you're not expected to. I'm going to spend the first little bit at the beginning just sharing a little bit more about my story, so you know where I've come from and what I'm doing and how this all kind of comes together. And then we're going to get into the 4 pillars of success. And I'm going to be devoting probably about 7 or 8 minutes per pillar. And then at the end, and the whole presentation will take about 35 minutes long. And then we're going to open it up to questions at that time. And you are most welcome to ask me anything, because I'm sharing some personal stuff, a lot of personal stuff about family, about business, about travel, about successes, about failures. And I welcome you to ask anything that you want about any of this. And I just ask that we save those questions to the end so we can actually get through everything in the limited time we have together. And again, as I mentioned earlier, if you do have any burning questions, you can use that raised hand option on the sidebar there. Okay. Wow, you guys, what a time we are in. Talk about uncertainty and the craziness of it all. And I don't know about you, but for me, it has been an incredible emotional roller coaster. I have gone extremes with like every emotion possible under the sun in the last couple of weeks. From being that germ Nazi yelling at my kids to wash their hands with signs posted up everywhere around the place, following behind them, trying to wipe up everything that they've touched, to the complete other end of the spectrum where I am just so full of joy, where my family is breaking into this raucous dance party in the middle of the living room to music I've never heard before, thanks to my son, and having just a blast, playing beer pong with my kids in the kitchen. And they are old enough, I should probably add, and just having fun. But it's been like this. Has anybody else had these kind of experiences where they're just kind of going like this? I need to see some heads nodding on your hands. Okay, thank you. Good, I'm not alone. It's starting to get a little bit more steady, which is great. I created this presentation well before COVID-19 hit. And I took a look at it for the first time just a couple days ago and went, okay, the good news is nothing really has changed. You know, the world is up on its head, it feels in many ways, but the principles of success have not changed. And I feel, in fact, today, they're probably the 4 pillars of success that I want to share with you are probably more important than ever, because these are pillars that will help us stand strong, whatever the circumstances, whatever the storm is that's going to be blowing through. And I feel like the content that I'm going to share with you will help you stand strong. I want to be clear. When I talk about success too, I'm not talking about just business success or just financial success. I'm talking about the whole picture. Family success, marital success, health and wellness success, financial success, time success in the sense of time, having the time to be able to enjoy our lives, playfulness success. It's the package that I want to talk about and share with you. And I feel like I've captured that. I have the success in my life and a life that I absolutely love. Like, pinch me, I love it. I love it. I want to share. This is the time to screen share. All right. Now, there we go. Can everybody see my screen? And just a couple nods. Okay, good. It's working. Okay, 4 pillars of success. That's us. So I have this incredible family life, including my daughter. She's 21 years old, and she's like this mind-blowing artist. Mind-blowing. Like, she's just an incredible artist. She's painted and paid her way through university from selling her fine art. She's just so great. My son here, he just turned 19. The poor devil, shortly, like a week later, they closed all the bars. He was very disappointed, but he's also a very creative and talented individual. He makes music, and he collaborates with people around the world, which I think is so cool what you can do in this day and age. This is my husband. He's my best friend. We have so much fun together, like belly laughing fun. We just love doing all the same things. We love kayaking, bike riding. We do these epic motorbike trips in the summer. I'm just a passenger, but I love sitting on the back of the bike and disappearing off into the sunset. I know that totally sounds like a sappy romantic movie, but basically that's me in a nutshell: sappy and romantic. And on the business side of things, I have 2 businesses that I absolutely love. They're work from anywhere businesses. Right now it's primarily working from home, but I have worked from the south of France, little coffee shops around the world, to my front seat of my car as I drive to Fino for a week of surfing. And I have a film business, and I have so much fun with both of these businesses. But it has not always been that good. So life is good now, it really is. But honestly, you know what? It hasn't always been. It has been full of challenges. And 15 years ago, my life, my relationship primarily was rock bottom. I was giving all of my attention to my business and to my 2 children, and nothing to my husband. My work was getting me all this recognition, and it felt good. People wanted what I had to offer. And I've never experienced that before. I've never experienced the attention and that recognition like I did when I started with my film business. And consequently, there was this growing responsibility that was pulling me further and away from my relationship with my husband. And I put my marriage on the back burner, just trusting that it would always be there. And I don't know, maybe there's other people in the room that have gone through things like that. It's easy when we get swept away in one area of our life that we can forget about the other important things and other important people in our life. And I absolutely love my work. And it was exciting. It's just exciting. So yeah, I said I work in the film industry, and with that, there comes some glamorous opportunities. And I would be hosting events or being at events, walking red carpets, pulling out my, dusting off those beautiful cocktail dresses in the back of my closet, getting out of my soccer gear, the mom look, and into these cute little dresses, and then working and being on the red carpets and talking to some really exciting people. And while I was doing that, my husband was at home looking after the kids and having that growing sense of resentment that was bubbling up. To make things worse, my husband at the time was deeply unsatisfied with his professional life. And I remember so many times, he would wake up, and before his feet would hit the ground, he would say, "I hate my fucking job." And that was like, I just, like, even hearing myself say it now, like I would just get clenched up. But you know what I would do? I'd be lying in bed, and I would be pretending I was asleep and that I didn't hear him, and that I had my back turned to him, and I was basically shutting him out. As you can imagine, over time, that relationship, there was a big void, an emotional void that came between us. And over time, it became harder and harder to share and to talk, to open up. Having a conversation was needed, but we didn't really know how to do it until one day my husband did. Because, you see, he thought I had fallen in love with somebody else. I was dangerously close to leaving our marriage. And I will be forever grateful that my husband had the courage to step up, talk to me, to confront me with his fears, and that he had the courage to look at himself and see where he contributed to our problems. And when he had the courage to do that, it helped me have the courage to look at me and where I was contributing to our problems, because it takes two. It takes two to tangle, and I know we both contributed to this. For the first time in our 22 years of marriage, we've been together now 33 years. I started dating him when I was 8. But for the first time in our 22 years, we were really starting to understand the responsibility that we had to love it or change it. After a lot of tears, a lot of late nights, a lot of trying to figure it out, we realized we needed something for us. We needed a shared dream, something that we could come together about, get excited about, work together towards. And that's when we decided to move the family, pack up and move to France for a year. Now, that might seem like an incredibly radical thing to do to save a marriage. Pack up your family and move to France for a year. But it was so much more than saving a marriage. It was about creating a life together that we love, a life that we were excited and proud of. It was about laying a foundation of joy, about creating something that we could really be excited about together. Leading up to this year abroad, it took resilience to bounce back from all the setbacks, to weather through the pain of healing, and to push through the challenges of living abroad and creating that opportunity. It took imagination to see a better life together, a life that we could both be excited about, a life we could work together towards and be proud of. And it took self-belief to push past those doubts and uncertainties that the year would present. And it took a whole lot of endurance, willingness and courage to stay the course, to put one foot in front of the other and keep moving towards that goal of creating a beautiful life together. Resilience, imagination, self-belief, and endurance. These are the 4 pillars of success. Whether it's success in your relationship, in business, in chasing after your wildest dreams, or getting through a pandemic. Those 4 years leading up to that year abroad, and then that year in France, taught me the importance of finding joy in absolutely everything I do. It also taught me that to be successful in all areas of my life, I have to build up these 4 pillars so that they are strong and that they will withstand the harshest storms. Despite the craziness and the uncertainties of the time, I really do have a life that I love and feel that there is a bright future for me. Not only do I have a beautiful marriage with a man that, like I said, we've now been together for 33 years, but I also have created 2 successful businesses. My film business has expanded across the country, and I have successfully partnered with some of the biggest film institutions in the country. With this pandemic, interestingly, new and exciting opportunities have just opened up, which is a beautiful silver lining. 4 years ago, I launched another business, this time in the network marketing arena. Again, it has been these 4 pillars of success that have helped carry me through. And I've become one of the top leaders in Vancouver with this company. And as this is an online business, the opportunities are expanding there too, which is really exciting. The adventures and beautiful life making with my family continue. Although the uncertainty in the future is still, there's who knows where everything is going. But we had planned in September, the plan was to move to India for a year. Well, we'll see. That might be delayed, or we might change it completely to something else. We're thinking about buying a van and become van people and drive across the country and explore Canada, and yeah, that would be interesting. I don't know. Or we might build our dream house on Vancouver Island. But whatever it is, we're using our imagination, and we will be resilient, and we'll believe in ourselves, and we'll endure through this time to create some cool opportunities for us. Okay, so let's dive in. That was a little bit about me, my background, my story. And now let's dive into these four pillars of success. Resilience. I'm going to try one more time. No, I can't seem to. I want to stop the share. Oh, I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to stop messing around. We'll just do that. Resilience. Perhaps one of the lessons that I have that was really driven home in this area is when I was a young woman, when I was pursuing my secret dream to be a model. You know what I mean by secret dream? One of those things that you don't tell a lot of people because you're worried about what they might think or say or do. So it's a secret dream. You just keep it to yourself. Well, my secret dream was to be a model. And my fear was that people would laugh at me, that they would think, who the heck am I to, do that? Anita's not pretty enough to be a model. Or they might say, and this is the big fear that I had, was that people would think I wasn't smart enough to do anything else. And my fears actually did come to life to some extent. I was trying to find an agent down south. I had agents tell me that they have beautiful people in their agency, but I wasn't beautiful. I was pretty, but not beautiful. I had agents tell me that I would never work in their city. I've had people I love mock me, but they called it teasing. I had people tell me or try to stop me from pursuing something under the guise of protecting me. And there were lots of tears that came with pursuing this vision, pursuing this dream. And I would just dry up those tears and push on. I was determined to make this dream a reality. And eventually I did find people that believed in me. And that dream came to life in a way that was wonderful. It took me to work and have contracts in Milan, Italy, in Hamburg, in Madrid, in LA, Tokyo. It took me all over the place. And, you know, you might think that pursuing a modeling career is just a frivolous dream of a young woman, and maybe it was. But it taught me how to be resilient. It taught me to pick myself up when I fall and meet disappointments. It taught me to bounce back. These are lessons that have been key to my success in everything I've done, every endeavor I've pursued. It has helped me stick it out with my husband and work through those challenging times. It's helped me during this COVID crisis where, you know, I get myself out of bed instead of wanting to bury under the blankets and watch Netflix all day. And trust me, I've wanted to do that a couple times, but I needed to find joy. I needed to be there for my family, for my staff, for my colleagues, for my friends. Whatever you are trying to create for your life, there are definitely going to be setbacks. There's going to be roadblocks. There's going to be bumps. There are going to be disappointments. Failure is inevitable. It is inevitable. And right now, you are also going to be bombarded by the negativity in the news and the social media feeds. And it might make you want to put on the brakes. If you are going to have success in life, if you're going to create the life you absolutely love, even during a pandemic, you must develop your resiliency. And I've got 5 tips to help you strengthen your resilience. Number 1, understand your why. You need to know why this dream or this thing, whatever it is that you're going after, why is it important to you? Having a strong reason why you're doing something will help you bounce back when you meet with failures, rejections, disappointment, or the sudden hurdles, unexpected hurdles in the road. For me, with the modeling, it was a journey on how to find myself. And I had something to prove, frankly, to my dad. My dad made me feel ugly, insignificant. As a kid, he mocked me. When he found out when I was getting into modeling, like that was the biggest joke. And I was determined to show him how wrong he was. And, you know, perhaps that's not the best reason why, but it was a strong motivator. And it really, quitting because of rejection was not an option. Number 2, build up positive self-belief. Ton of research has shown that your own self-esteem plays a huge role in helping to cope with stress and recover from difficult events. Don't we need that now? Self-belief. Self-belief is actually the 3rd pillar, as you know, in this discussion. So I'm going to spend more time on that a little bit later in this presentation. Number 3, develop a strong social network. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who lift you up, and who you can confide in when you fall. Choose your circle, your inner circle wisely. And today, honestly, that couldn't be more important. During this time of social distancing and self-isolation, your social network has never been more important. Not only do we need to stay connected with people, but we need to make sure we've got the right people and good people in our life who are lifting us up, who are not adding to the fear, but are adding to our joy. Number 4, be flexible and open to change. This principle seems more important now than ever too. The world is pivoting. Major and sudden changes are being thrust upon us, and it is damn uncomfortable. We must pivot with the world and not only be open to change, but embrace it. Learning to let go of those old ways, I get it. It's not easy. It's really hard, but we need to be flexible. And when we're open to new possibilities, to change, you'll find opportunities. It's happening in both my businesses right now. I alluded to it earlier. I'm blown away with what is coming my way because we are letting go of old ways of doing things. My business is about driving people to the movie theater. That's my business. Driving people to the movie theater to watch films. All the movie theaters are closed. So talk about having to pivot. And we're doing stuff online now, which is really cool. And I've got an event tonight where we're doing an online Q&A with the filmmaker and star of a new film that's being released. And I'm excited about this. I'm really excited about it because we can now bring these filmmakers to people everywhere, which is super cool, super cool. So we have to be willing and flexible and open to change. And the final tip, and this is so important, be optimistic. Hope is a beautiful thing. We need hope in our life. We need to see a bright future. We need to feel positive about what is coming. Keeping a positive mindset doesn't mean putting your head in the sand and ignoring the problems. It just means understanding that there are temporary setbacks. Those are your 5 tips to strengthen resilience. Pillar number 2, imagination. Oh, I love this quote. Imagination is more important than knowledge. I can't move my screen to see the whole thing properly. You guys can read it. Imagination is the language of the soul. Pay attention to your imagination and you will discover all you need to be fulfilled. What a great quote. I recently attended a leadership event, and one of the speakers got us to do a really simple exercise. But it turned out it wasn't actually so simple for a lot of people. We were asked if we could do absolutely anything we wanted in life with no barriers, no time constraints, no financial constraints, no lack of skills, like we could do anything we wanted, what would it be? As it turns out, a lot of people had a hard time with coming up with a couple things. And I think we get stuck in describing ourselves as certain types of people. We think I'm this kind of person, or I'm not that kind of person. Like I'm the kind of person who gets shy in, large groups, or I'm the kind of person that would never do karaoke, or I'm the kind of person who just would never jump out of an airplane and go skydiving, whatever those, descriptors are. And I think as we get older, our boxes get smaller and more confined. But imagining possibilities for our life is absolutely essential if we are going to live our best possible lives. There's a well-known neuroscientist, you see that, Dr. Joe Dispenza. He wrote this book, Becoming Supernatural. He also did another one I really liked, Breaking the Habit of Being You. This one's a little dense. The other one, Breaking the Habit of Being You, is a little bit more easy reading. And his whole philosophy is, it's about imagining something that you want, something that you want to create in your life. It's about rewiring how we think and unleashing the unlimited possibilities that he argues is within all of us. His work is absolutely fascinating. You can find him on YouTube. He does talks as well. Dr. Joe Dispenza, again, is his name. I highly recommend listening to some of the stuff that he talks about, because he believes, as I do, that we can rewire the stuff that's going on in here, and we can create the life we want. The skill of imagining a different possibility for yourself is something that you can train yourself to do. If you can see it, this is his argument, if you can see it in your mind's eye, if you can feel it in your body, you can create it. I really believe that, and I've experienced that. The skill of imagining a different possibility for my life saved my marriage. And it turns out our imagination was pretty darn big. While planning our year abroad, our move to France, one of us, I don't remember who it was, I'll take the credit though, said we should do a 2-week trek through the Swiss Alps. That idea spoke to my soul, totally deep, like, yeah, that's so cool. Let's do that. Oh gosh. In August 2013, my husband and our 2 teenagers, we started out that year abroad with a 200-kilometer trek from Chamonix, France to Zermatt, Switzerland, which saw us for 14 days ascend and descend 2,000 meters every single day. I think that's me there on my head going, oh my God, what have I done? It was probably the hardest thing I've ever done and the most rewarding. It bonded our family like nothing. And it all gave us the sense of accomplishment. I chose this photo because I feel like I feel proud. You know, I'm standing there, my hands on my hips. I am proud. I have done this. And we all felt, all of us in the family felt like we could do this, we can do anything. At the time, our kids, my daughter was 15 and my son was 13. And, you know, there were no other kids on this track. And so anybody else that we saw, they were like, oh, wow, the family. We're the Adams family. We're the Adams family. And we felt so proud to be able to do this. And our kids felt accomplished. And that is such a great feeling. Such a great feeling. We envisioned a life full of adventure, companionship, joy. And we got really specific about what it is that we wanted for us, what we wanted our life to look like. And then we made it a reality. Now we're planning our next big adventure. As I mentioned, it was supposed to be a year in India. I have no idea if that's going to happen, but our imagination is working overtime right now, coming up with plan B and C and D to see where that might take us. But whatever it is we do, it will be epic. It will be full of joy, full of wonder and love. Okay, I've got a little exercise for you. If you guys have pen and paper, you can, have that on hand, or your cell phone. Use the notes section of your cell phone. I want you to let your imagination run wild. Remove all the limiting beliefs. If you had no limitations, no obstacles, what to do, what would it be that you wanted to do? Where there's no worries about money, time, or abilities. What would you do? Maybe write a book, make a movie, hike the Camino, I don't know, do a marathon. Start your own home-based business. I want you to write down some of your thoughts. You guys got some things rolling in your head? If there is one thing from your list that speaks to your soul, what is it? Look at your list and you see one thing that speaks to your soul. I challenge you to share it. My one thing, I'll share with you. I really want to be a world-class public speaker. I want people to bring me to speak on stages around the world. That's my one thing that I really want. But by sharing, putting our thoughts out there, sharing what it is that we want, the one thing, will make it more real. Oh, great. Awesome. You guys, thank you for, create public art. Awesome. Paddling in Hawaii every day. Oh, yes, Nancy. I think that sounds amazing. Awesome. Some great stuff here. A book, art, my life, and how I contribute to the world. Awesome. Find a cure to prevent any future pandemics. Very good. Wow, that would be a big one. Some great stuff. Great, thanks. Thank you for sharing. I hope, I'll be able to access these all later. I do encourage you to share. Share your one thing with somebody. And I respect the secret dream. I do respect that. But there's power in words. There's power in sharing your content, sharing your ideas with others, and it will help you move forward. Now, the next question there is, what is the one thing, one little thing, and that you can do immediately, today or tomorrow, that will move you closer to achieving your goal? Vladimir says that she wants to do a lot more travel. Maybe that one thing is identifying the next city that she's going to go to and research what that city is. You know, if your dream is to write a book, well, what's the next step for you? Book an hour off tomorrow to work on that first chapter or outlining that book. Figure out what the one thing is, and that will help you move forward. Moving on to pillar number 3, self-belief. This is my daughter on the beach. She's got a lot of self-belief. You can achieve anything if you believe in yourself, but the opposite is also true. Without strong self-belief, you will not go far. Isn't that the truth? Oh, wow, I just noticed time. I gotta be flying through. That's too far. Okay, there was a time I had very limited self-belief. There was a time, every morning I'd wake up and I'd look in the mirror and I literally would start crying. I would see myself and say, you're ugly, you're stupid, every day. And I had an emotionally abusive father who I kind of alluded to earlier. He would look at me with this disgust. He would mock my intelligence, and he would take every opportunity to belittle me, and found it particularly enjoyable to do so in a public, humiliating manner. He told me I would amount to nothing. And there was a time in my life where I really hated this man. I really deeply hated this man. I don't anymore. He died a couple of years ago, but we got over all of that. And anyways, in many ways, I am grateful for not grateful for that abuse. That's not the right way of putting it. But he put a fire in my belly, a fire that made me want to prove him wrong. They say the best revenge is massive success. And from about the age of 18, I was determined to have massive success. And what I realized, what I needed to be successful in life is I needed to develop an unwavering belief in myself. Unwavering belief. That's when I became obsessed. Obsessed with personal and professional development, those self-help books. There's a fabulous bookstore. You might be familiar with it. It's called Banyan Books in Kitsilano. You guys know that bookstore? My husband calls it it's the airy fairy shop, and it's all these personal growth, spiritual books, tarot reading, cards, and all that sort of stuff. I absolutely loved that store. I would devote hours and hours of my time, sitting in a corner in that store, digesting the pearls of wisdom that I found in the books. It was there that I discovered The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, the quote that's here, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra, and The R.I.S.E Way by Julia Cameron. These 3 books have had a very profound effect on my life and my journey and my discovery, self-discovery, and belief in myself. Is anybody familiar with Julia Cameron's morning pages, the morning pages? Awesome. The premise with the morning pages it's basically a stream of consciousness exercise where you write out in long form 3 pages every morning, whatever is going on. It does not matter. Like, just write it out. You're not even supposed to reread these morning pages. Just get it out on paper, write it all out. And I did this for years and years and years and years and years. And it was a practice that was transformative for me. Now I want to share a little thing that I adapted this exercise slightly. And I really believe how I've taken this transitioned this practice has amplified my self-belief to a whole new level. And what I do is, and I'm going to present it to you as a 30-day challenge, because I really want you to do this. Every morning, write just 1 page in your journal about your future self. And you want to describe the person you want to be. You want to get really detailed, really specific about this individual, how you see yourself, say, in 5 years down the road, how you act, stand, interact, behave, how you dress, how you walk into a room. Like, get really specific. Describe your accomplishments that you've made and how those accomplishments have made you feel. This is kind of what the Joe Dispenza talks about, and how if you can see it in your mind's eye, feel it in your body, you can be it. And I have experienced that. For the last 4 years, I have been writing about the woman I want to be in the future, but I use the present tense I am statements. And each day I feel myself stepping into that person. Each day I see the opportunities because I've written about the woman I want to be. And when an opportunity arises for me to be that woman, I'm like, here's an opportunity to be the woman I want to be. And I want to share something else. With this pandemic, I altered this exercise a little bit I think I did it for about a week where I changed it. And I changed my descriptions, talking about the woman I want to be in a crisis. And that really helped. Like I said at the beginning of this, I went through a lot of emotions at the beginning. I was all over the shop. I was needing to practice some resiliency. And this really helped, this exercise, writing about the woman I want to be during a crisis. And I encourage you to try that. And I would love to challenge you to do this exercise for 30 days, this writing about your future self, and see how you step into that individual. All right. Moving on to pillar number 4, our final last pillar, endurance. Okay, this is it. Endurance. It's the long run, right? It is hard. It is a lot of work creating a life that we absolutely love. It's hard stepping into that best version of ourselves. And sometimes we want to give up. I've been there. Many times I've wanted to give up. I've wanted to walk away on things because it just felt easier than sticking with the status quo and then to step into the unknown. And boy, are we stepping into the unknown right now, and it is damn uncomfortable. But when we come through the other side, those of us who don't shrink away, who embrace the uncertainty and endure the challenges, they will be victorious. You and I will be victorious because we will endure. We'll have resilience, imagination, self-belief, and endurance. There have been many, 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 many times I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit on my marriage, quit my business, quit my dreams. More recently, I wanted to hide in my bed and quit everything else and just stay under covers and not deal with what is going on. It was, with my marriage, it was really hard to get that back on track. All those nights crying while we tried to sort it out was frankly exhausting. And it wasn't like things magically got better over in a couple months. It took years to get us to where we are today. In the midst of that pain and discomfort, it would definitely have been easier just to leave. When I was told I wasn't beautiful enough to be a model, it certainly would have been easy to say, give up on that dream, than to endure the pain and the hardship and the cruelness. People can be damn cruel. And I had a lot of cruel people trying to stop me from pursuing that. It would have been a lot easier to give up on that. When I launched my film business, I received cease and desist letters from the biggest distribution company in Canada. And it would have been a lot easier just to walk away than to try to pursue building that relationship there. But they're the biggest film company in Canada. When some of my friends first ghosted me when I entered the network marketing arena or said negative comments about the business, it would have been a lot easier to walk away than to try to endure and help them understand this business that they clearly didn't understand. I think, how different would my world be today if I didn't endure all those scenarios? I shudder to think about my family life. You know, gosh, it would be, I have such a beautiful family life. Like, what would it be if my husband and I didn't put the time into us? You know, I need to stop there and just say, I recognize that there's some relationships that the healthiest and the best thing to do is to walk away. That wasn't our situation. And I'm grateful that we came back around. If I let all those people in my life who told me I wasn't smart enough, pretty enough, talented enough, influence my decisions, I wouldn't have had all those amazing experiences in my modeling career. 2, I would not have launched a very successful film business. And by the way, that distribution company that sent me those cease and desist letters, they're now one of our biggest partners. In fact, they sit on my board of directors now. So I endured a lot with trying to get there. And then all those friends, if I let them influence my decision about sticking it out with my network marketing business, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be here doing this with you today. That business has changed my life in so many ways. So many ways. It's opened my eyes, opened my heart, opened so many doors. It has been a huge gift in my life, and I'm grateful that I had the wherewithal and stuck with it, because it's been a gift, a real gift. Victory comes if you are willing to endure the pain. It's that simple. But of course, it's not always easy. So I've got a few tips for you on how to boost your endurance. All right. Number 1, develop your why. I know I've said this already, but it's that important. You got to develop your why. You have to have a strong reason why this is important to you and stick it out. It will help you keep moving forward and get through the tough times that will inevitably come your way. Number 2, find a mentor. Someone who inspires you, someone who has walked the path you are on now and will help you achieve what you want to achieve. Even if it's somebody you don't know, you can follow them on social media. I follow Rachel Hollis because she's a brilliant public speaker, and she travels around the world speaking. I love what she does. She's like this media mongrel. I want to be like the 50-plus-year-old version of Rachel Hollis. So I follow her and I learn from some of the things that she's doing. Find an accountability partner, somebody ideally that is on the same page, same level rather, that you are in life, and that are at least as ambitious as you, or not more so. That's it, you guys. Rise up and step into your greatness. In summary, if you master these 4 virtues, resilience, imagination, self-belief, endurance, not only will you find the success you are looking for to create a life you absolutely love, but you will develop yourself as a leader. And our world needs more leaders than ever before. If you are interested in being added to my R.I.S.E newsletter, you can email me at anita@anitaadams.ca, and you can follow me on social.
I do hope you've enjoyed this workshop presented by Toastmasters District 96 and Anita Adams. And also, be kind, be calm, and most importantly, be safe.
You have tuned into and are viewing the District 96 Toastmasters YouTube channel. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel.